What's up, everybody? Ryan the Mighty Quinn here on the Cornerman _ MMA UFC 294 afterthoughts. So, wow, I really thought an upset was going to take place. I know I try to be very analytical, but I felt in my bones that either the co-main event that Usman was going to pull it off, or in the main event, I thought that Volk was. I really just felt one of those was going to happen. I was very wrong, actually. The fight was a complete 180. Both of them were a complete 180 from what I broke down. We'll section them off. So going forward, what happened? So Khamzat dominated. I know that they're saying he broke his hand or whatever, but I don't think that gives. I don't think that gives. I think it's kind of a wash because the short notice fight. And I mean this for Khamzat. I don't mean this to crap on him. I mean he still dominated one of the best welterweights to ever live, and so Usman doesn't have. He really can't say, oh well, it was short notice. He fought a guy with a broken hand for 2 rounds. I know that Michael Bisping thought that Usman won, but whatever. I thought he was dominated. Now. Going forward for 185. Now I know there's a giant discussion. Obviously they said this is going to be the #1 contender fight, and I think it's for good reason. This was a good fight to push. I know everyone is those Dricus Plessis fans, which I am one of. I think he's a pretty good fighter. Are saying that he's getting shafted. Now, if he's getting shafted, we got to think of a lot of things here. Why is he getting shafted in general? First of all, how severe is his injury? Where is he on his recovery? And once you get back in the gym, it's still a 10-week camp at least. And you can't just come back in the gym and go to camp. You got to get back in the gym and you got to make sure that your bearings are under you. So from first practice to fight night for Dricus, we're looking at least 3.5 months. I think 3 months to push it before we get back in anything. To be strong. Now, of course, if he gets the call, he's doing it. But we're looking at that now. And the other piece to that is no one's saying that he's not getting a title fight ever. They're just saying he's just not getting it now. You know what I mean? Like he's just going to have to sit here. He's not getting pushed back in the rankings. Well, we don't know that yet, really. But we're not saying that he's not going to get the title fight ever. He's just not getting it now. So maybe he just has to stay patient and see who wins between Strickland and Khamzat. And then we go forward. So now what else could happen there? Okay, I mean, we can go into breaking down. I'll probably do a breakdown of the Strickland Khamzat fight. We could just do it now. Strickland jab's very tricky. That's his range wins him a lot of fights. He shells up behind his punches. That he's got to do more here. Definitely got to do more here. I know that there's been people saying, oh, Strickland got dominated by Khamzat when they trained. Maybe on the ground, I think that Sean, he's very heavy-handed. He's going to have to put a lot more behind those jabs, I think. Maybe be clean with the feint, but don't go to town with the feint. Like, me, I love to feint to slow things down. He's going to have to feint really to set things up round 1 and then feint to slow things down round 2 and 3, 4, 5. Actually, 3, 4, 5. Try to have some little gas off of Khamzat. But he's going to have to be very active with those heavy hands, not just to the head, but to the body. He's going to have to beat up that body a lot and try to keep it there. And he's going to have to use I think he's a little bit shorter. He's going to have to really be willing to hand fight. I would not want to get to the ground against Khamzat if I'm Strickland. Like I said, that this fight wasn't going to take place on the ground, the prior one. I don't think that's technically going to be the case here. I think that Khamzat could really set up shop against Strickland on the ground. And so we're looking at hand fight. We got to get active boxing going. Now for Khamzat, I would just slip under those jabs and see what's available, whether it's a shot, striking, kicks, whatever, and just do that heavy damage that he does. And if he's got Strickland against the fence or on the ground, like I said, set up shop, just do your damage. Strickland is tough. So, he does a pretty good job. I think he learned his lesson since the Gilbert fight. He does a pretty good job of, not blowing his wad, just really doing damage and being a little bit more selective when he's trying to finish. And I think that that's what we would probably see there. Emergency in water, sorry. And now, going up to the lightweight fighter down, however way you want to look at it. It does look like Justin Gaethje is the guy. I would give that title shot to Justin Gaethje versus Makhachev. Now, let's talk about the fight a little bit. Another short notice. Volk caught some weight, and good for Volk. You know, I get it. You don't want to sit, you feel like the moss grow under your feet. That anxiety comes when you're not competing. We're competitors. That's what we want to do. You know, that's why I'm still looking to compete in jiu-jitsu. I'm doing the Miami Open next week, 2 weeks, and it doesn't go away. So for him, I think that's really big of him. You know, just to step. He did it for him, and that's fantastic. It's kind of a push. You know, I don't think his stock has lowered at all. Maybe he's not being argued as the pound for pound best in the world anymore, whatever. But, you know, he's still one of the best. He still has a lot. I got to figure out why this thing keeps popping up. But it's kind of a push. Like I said, it really, you know, I don't want to say he fell forward. He stayed right where he was. He didn't drop his stock at all. Now, big shots happen. Head kicks happen. I was very proud of never getting knocked out of my career. And then I got knocked out in 12 seconds. So, things happen. Obviously, I'm not at that level, but I thought that Khamzat had the right game plan. You know, everyone knows him as the smash fighter, and then he came forward, he threw a big left front kick. Maybe he saw something, like I said, the adjustments were going to be made, or I said the adjustments aren't necessarily made by the loser in fights like that because they're so close. Maybe he saw something where the right hand drops for Volk and that's opens up the head kick when he's backing up, something along those lines. But he made a great adjustment, which is why he's a great champion and why it's going to be a great fight with him versus Gaethje. So I like the fight with him and Gaethje. I think it's going to be great. Now Gaethje, you know, obviously we saw he's got so many striking weapons. He's got dominant wrestling, which will help him against Makhachev. Now, Khabib really slowed him down. I don't think that Makhachev is a Khabib level yet, but also let's say he is. I think that Gaethje could learn from that fight, create some angles to open up his boxing against the Makhachev. I don't want to say less experience, but you know, probably less experienced striker is probably the best term. I think that's what opens up there. You know, who else is in the Sakarian? You know, he's in the picture. Gamrot. You know, I wonder what they're going to do with Gamrot. You know, you know, he just lost. He just won a pretty big fight, and he was supposed to be the backup for this fight. Is he getting the push now? Who knows? I wonder how he handled that whole situation with the UFC. Maybe people are bitter. I don't know. But again, unfortunately, he's in a situation where this is the fight to market. And plus, you know, Gaethje, he's getting up there. Maybe this is his last bang, his last hurrah. He just knocked out Dustin Poirier. Get him the fight. You know, Dustin's one of the most dangerous strikers, and one of the always in the top 5, and he knocked him out. So I'm all for that fight. It was a great night, great afternoon here in the States. I thought it was, a lot of people said they were disappointed with the event I saw on social media. Very surprising. I thought it was a good event. But that's what I got, guys. Like, subscribe, and share. Talk to you later. Bye.